Well, folks, we got a few projects here in store for you today. Welcome back, and we're going to get right into them. Next we move on to is a seed tender. Well, there's a story on this one too. Well, it's on a different trailer, as you guys can probably tell. It's on the trailer it's going to be on this spring for planting, hopefully. This trailer is just kind of a smaller car trailer, not as long as the other one, but we're going to get this one chained down, and it has the corner eyelets all the way around, so it'll be easier to chain this one down. But basically this thing was bought running, which I'm very surprised. Usually when I buy something like this, these motors are always finicky and has their problems, but this one ran, but it leaked fuel pretty profusely, pretty bad. Like so bad that I forgot to shut the fuel off one night and I drained the tank. So that problem needs to get fixed. Come to find out, I figured there's either broken O-ring in the fuel bowl or just the float was sticking. Well, it's kind of a combination. This was broke, of course, and it looked like it was leaking out of the chamber, or not the chamber, but the venturier through, whatever you want to call it. But it looked like it was leaking out there, but really this O-ring was centered perfect. So, yeah, and then on top of it, this fuel bowl was full of junk. You can kind of tell. See that rust kind of still in there, but the whole thing looked like that. And then this little sediment bowl was even full of junk. And then the needle and seat had junk in it. So really it was a combination of things. But moral of the story, don't forget to shut this little lever off before you go in for the night, because it will leak your whole tank out. So I'll have those parts here after dinner. Another thing I noticed is the intake side. This gasket on this side was ripped. And so that has a little bit to do with the air that gets sucked in there and stuff. And so we're gonna get those parts fixed and throw her back together, and I was just surprised it ran really good. Well, we made that long journey to town and back, and here we are with our findings. 2 spark plugs for a 4-cylinder, a battery cable, some eyelets, and some gaskets for a carburetor, and an O-ring. So I think we're pretty well set for the most part. Well, that's a step in the right direction. One piece, and then just got a newer looking little washer thingy. So throws together and we'll see if it works. There, that was quick. Should work. Let's get her put on. Don't forget the choke, might need that. Here's the moment of truth, guys. Probably gonna have to use the choke. But did we do it right? I hope we did. Not even camera shy. Look at that. That is sure gonna beat an auger any day of the week, I feel. But anyways, if you're wondering what these eyelets were for, this is kind of the idea behind them. The rope, which is supposed to kind of lock this in place, it's going to help with like positioning. This is what locks it in certain positions. You got like 5 positions, and yeah, that way you can just be on the seed boxes and switch position quick, hopefully. The newer ones, they make it electric, so there's a little electric cylinder that goes here to here, and of course it probably doesn't let it go down that far. Probably holds it up like that the whole time, but yeah, that's gonna be kind of sweet. Well, guys, we're at the auto parts store getting the last 2 spark plugs, and happened just to come across these. And I was thinking about lights, and then, well, these were on sale, so then I couldn't quit thinking about lights. And the crazy idea is to put them up there. I don't know. I think that's a good idea, don't you guys? Just up there so it shines down. I don't know. It should work for center fills and box planners. I think that's a good idea. And then I really got thinking, my brain starts running, putting an LED strip in here, that way it just shines down. That way you can kind of see everything you're working with. That one might be on the back burner, but this one I definitely am going to try, just because they're here, they were cheap, and here's what they are. 1150 lumens. So I think that'd be plenty bright enough. Dutch thinks it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. I think we're gonna throw a couple up there and see what I think. Right? Yeah. That doesn't look too bad. The only problem is we might get a shadow from that bearing, but I don't know, guys. I think this is gonna be quite a nice upgrade. I haven't even used this yet. I'm already getting excited. Gonna be another light on this side. I think will be plenty for it. Just the only thing I'd be worried about is that bearing shadow, but usually you're gonna be kind of working in the light. Gonna have to get dark out so I can test it out. Get the other one mounted and go from there. We got 1 and 2. I think that's gonna be a good addition. If you ain't sold yet, you should be now. Because you always need lights. You can never have enough lights. Only thing is there might be a dead spot. Not gonna know unless I turn the lights off, I suppose. I could do that. Well, I'm gonna get some wire run up quick. So we got it all wired up here, or temporarily wired up, I should say. Because once you see why I say temporarily, you'll understand. Got the wire nuts holding her true. And then down here, I just got some jumper wires. Now, the reason I did run a whole ground wire is because there is actually a plastic pad between the conveyor and the frame itself. So I'm not sure. It should be grounding, but this can always get rolled back up if need be. But that's just for the test purpose here. We gotta make sure everything works. So, and we got light. Not too bad. Let me get the lights quick. Not bad. It's kind of hard to tell. It's too bright outside yet. I guess I could cover the windows next. This one's shining down more. This one's shining out more. I mean, you might be kind of right in line with the planner. So I think it looks pretty good. It's a crazy idea, but you really don't know until it's dark out and over a planner. But yeah, this one's definitely in more than that one. More tests. I think we're gonna try and finalize some of this wiring next. Let's see if we can't ground it up there once and make it work. More jumper wires. And now we just need the power. We got a ground. Now we'll have lights. And 2. Gotta make sure you have both sides in though. And usually when you do this crimp, it crimps both sides at once. So made that mistake the first time. On to the next. So I found us a switch. It's a used one. So make sure you test them before you make all this work to make it work. But it is good. It's just a little 2-post one. So it'd be perfect. So my thoughts was to put it right in here somehow. That way it's kind of by all the controls already. Then I just have to come off this bolt or this bolt to mount it. I could come off that bolt. That would be pretty simple. Plate. Oh, that'd be really simple. I think that's what we're gonna do. Just come off this bolt with a little plate and then put it right there. That way you're by all your controls. And then we'll just grab the power from the solenoid on this so that way we don't run to the battery and continue this mess of wires. I already broke one. Oops. But we'll just get this done and then maybe we'll tackle some of that. Still waiting on the scales, so we will get this done then. Here's the thought, guys. Got this little plate. Put it behind that bolt. Boom. Got a little outpost here to throw a switch in. 2 holes and some paint. I think it should work. Now it's going to go on the back side. So in between the pull cord and the fan shroud here, or the fan housing. That way I can get a good hole and not have to worry about it being thin. But yeah, it should work. Let's get some holes put in it. Here's what we come up with, guys. That, a switch and a bolt. Now we just got to make a little test fit here before I paint it. And then we'll try it out. So I'll get her thrown up there quick. Now if that doesn't look factory, I don't know what will. So the reason I have to go sideways is because otherwise it'll hit. So, but anyways, that should work pretty good. Boop. That is going to be perfect. Once I put paint on it, you want me to tell it wasn't original. Now if I could just find the securing bolt or nut that I lost somewhere, I set it down and said I'll remember it. Now it's missing, but I'll find it quick and we'll get that painted. Some paint and primer should do the trick. Only thing is I don't think it's gloss like it ever glosses. In the paint booth here, got the biggest item in here. Got the little piece all hung up, ready to go. Let's get her painted. Simple. That wasn't too bad. Now just to find that nut. Still missing it. Set it down somewhere really good. Really good. Here's our finished product. Nice little switch. Doesn't look too bad and it's close to everything. Switch it on. Got power. There we go. So that's done. And then this came in the mail. Look at that. It's even original. $10.99 off Amazon. That's pretty good quality. So I can't beat that at the local auto parts store. That's awesome. Made in Thailand. So got some original OEM parts. So we'll get that thrown on and this should be ready to go outside. Also, we got it mounted. So here's what we did. 2 U-bolts, 1 in each corner. Got one over there. So technically it should be pretty secure to the point where we should be good to go. I don't really see the point in adding 4. I can add 4, but we're just not that in the need, I don't think. But the scale, that is auction company is starting to get a little wishy-washy on me, so we'll see what happens there. Might be rolling without one for a while till we either find one that's reasonable or I can get one for $2,300. And that's just I didn't even barely pay that much for this thing. So we'll get this filter thrown on, and I think that's going to be it for this one, guys. This one should wrap it up, and hopefully the next time you see it, it's in the field. Putting it to work. I am pretty excited. So we'll catch you guys then. Take her easy. Out she goes. Planner's coming in next.